one of the main points we make is that ideologies, conservative, liberal, those are ex post stories we tell. You really could take any combination of policies, any of them. You could take all the policies, put them in a bag, mix them up, draw out 20 random policies, and then invent a story showing how all those policies were conservative. So this National Conservatism Conference, no, we're the true conservatives and all the policies that they're advancing. You could just as easily make up a conservative story about the opposite policies. So what people think, this is the big fallacy, is they think when it comes to politics, you start with a philosophy. You start with either conservative or liberal. Then you use that philosophy to think yourself to a whole bunch of policies on taxes, on abortion, on war, all these different things. And then you join the tribe that just happens to agree with you on everything. It turns out the evidence shows that that's exactly backwards. People start with the tribe. You anchor into a tribe probably because of peer groups, right? If you're an academic, all your peers are in the left-wing tribe, so you anchor into that. Then you adopt all of the policies of the tribe as a matter of socialization. And then, and only then, does ideology come along. Then you invent a story saying, okay, here's all these things that I've adopted because of tribal beliefs. Let me make up a story how all of them are liberal, are conservative, are progressive, are left-wing, are right-wing. It's an after-the-fact story, which is no different in its intellectual approach than astrology. So the entirety of our political discourse is based on something as flimsy, as silly, and as demonstrably false as astrology. And that's where we are. And the entire political science profession is enthralled to this astrological idea.
So thinking about Republicans, I'm going to keep talking to you, Hyrum. The and I think I've seen you talk about this before, but is how much of it is kind of a cult of personality defined by it? It seems like parties struggle to define what they're about when they're quote in the wilderness and they don't have the White House. So during the Reagan years, there was Reaganism. During the Bush years, when the neocons were in ascendancy, there was I'll call it nation building. I guess he called it compassionate conservative. Those things don't necessarily go together. And then with Trump, it was MAGA, America First, and all of that. Like those, I would argue Reaganism seems more coherent to me, but they're just driven by what the policies were that were pursued by the guy that won the presidency. Is there a lot of cult of personality driven in this tribalism?
No question. We see that throughout history, that tribes often organize around a unifying figure. And even if they don't, even if they unify around something else, generally some cult-like unifying figure will come along to kind of head the tribe, and that determines the tribe's direction. So absolutely, what is considered right-wing is, and I mean this literally, and people aren't going to believe me, but it's absolutely true. Right-wing today means 100% whatever Trump is doing. If Trump tomorrow decided to nationalize the entire economy, that would be considered right-wing, and I'm not kidding. If Trump declared tomorrow open borders, that would be considered right-wing. You don't believe me? Imagine what would happen if all these immigrants and their children started voting Republican overnight. I guarantee you that the left-wing tribe would freak out and try to close down the borders. There's no question about that. Everybody knows it's true once you stop to think about it. So yes, the tribal leader, the cult of personality is very real. It goes tribe, then policies, then philosophy. And tribe right is currently defined by a cult-like figure, Donald Trump. That's the beginning and end of what right-wing ideology means today. People are trying to say, no, there's some core of beliefs there, and there really isn't.